This is a country that's known war for 30 years. That may be how you know Afghanistan. I've been coming here for much of that time. And there's another country too. Everyone who matters seems to have gone through here. Emperors, explorers, conquerors, and just the curious. There's just something about this country and its people that captures the imagination and interest. I always say, no one comes to Afghanistan once. I'm on a journey through a land I've grown to love. A place that continues to amaze.
I wouldn't have expected the head of the Islamic shrine to be riding a Buzkashi horse.
You never know who you'll meet.
Oh, you're the only Japanese sushi chef in Afghanistan.
Well, they allege that you're involved in the drugs trade. They allege that you're the main power broker. They even allege that you support the Taliban.
Are you proud to be Afghan?
Yeah, why not? I'm
Really?
Afghan, yeah.
I'm going on a journey to take you beyond the headlines. My journey begins in the far north of Afghanistan, in the bustling city of Mazar-e-Sharif. It's the day before the first day of spring, the first day of the new year, Nowruz. Afghans travel from across the country to be here to celebrate this ancient Persian tradition. The Taliban banned Nowruz as un-Islamic, but it's a very Afghan time, one of their most festive holidays. Security is tight.
Kabul.
Kabul? You're not worried about security? No? There's
No
security.
problem. No problem.
Look at the
Yes.
police. Look at the
Security-
police.
security.
Look at the check. They're everywhere. Police asked.
بخاطر از اینکه کدام گپ را به وجود نبره ما دایی خوش هستیم آزرده نمیشه ما ایمان داریم سر سرباز خود سر مسئولین امنیتی خود ایمان داریم
You have to admire their courage. People bringing their families here, driving for hours to reach Mazar-e-Sharif. They know about the threats. They see the security. But they lived in a country which has been at war for some 30 years. So they get used to it and they get on with life. They want it to change, but they're not going to let it get in the way of a good celebration.
And what better way to celebrate the new year than with one of the much-loved traditions of the north? Buzkashi, that means goat grabbing. It's Afghanistan's oldest sport, its national game. Two teams fight over the carcass of a headless goat. They have to grab it, gallop free of everyone else, and then drop it in a chalked circle. I found myself sitting next to Babrak Nurzai, a young economist. Buzkashi has a wide range of fans.
Why do you think Afghans like it so much? It's quite a unique sport.
Buzkashi is traditional game of Afghanistan, and mostly in this region, especially in the north, people likes the horses, riding the horses. That's the reason that they like it so much.
Some Afghans tell me they'd like Buzkashi to be an Olympic sport.
Everything is possible. If it's part of Olympics, then Afghan will like that very much.
But that would mean countries all over the world would have to play it. Do you think they would?
Maybe they might bring slight changes or slight corrections.
I think Afghans like it the way it is, you know, it's very rough and everyone...
No, the rule of the game will be the same.
There's no rules, is there?
Yeah, there is.
Buzkashi used to have hundreds of riders, no teams, no written rules. It's a bit more organized now, but some still call it the world's wildest game. It's not a sport for women, although Western women are given the status of special guests.
You know, I came to the first Buzkashi game right to this very place more than 20 years ago. when the communists were ruling Afghanistan. Do you think it's changed at all?
The games are not changing, and it's the same game. Maybe only the regime has changed.
In the midst of the melee, I spotted a familiar face. What was a cleric from Mazar's most famous shrine doing on the playing field?
I wouldn't have expected the head of the Islamic shrine to be riding a Buzkashi horse. How many years have you been playing Buzkashi?
Maybe more than 25 years.
What do you need to be a good Buzkashi rider? Afarin, congratulations.
Buzkashi used to be the game of choice for rival warlords. The rich own the horses, they host the match. Today's teams are sponsored by big business, but it doesn't change the spirit.
It's almost like an Afghan election. One team said they won, and then the other team came and said, no, they didn't win, it's fraudulent. They didn't go all the way to the end of the field.
The disputes raged. One team declared a boycott. I decided it was time for me to go too. New Year's Day dawned. More than 100,000 people had turned out.
Just look at all the crowds that have come here. They've been queuing up since early this morning. Everyone wants to be at the shrine for this greatest of days in the Afghan calendar. A lot of people, a lot of security, and a lot of anticipation.
Mazar-e Sharif means noble shrine, and this is it. In this Muslim nation, the day begins at the exquisite blue-tiled shrine of Hazrat Ali, the Prophet Muhammad's son-in-law. He's believed to be buried here in this sacred place.
Just look at the birds. They have this belief here that if a brown bird comes in and joins the white birds, that within 40 days, that bird will also be white.
A place where the faithful believe prayers are answered and on Nowruz, wishes are made.
شما مقبول است. چی آرزو دارید؟
برای جای تعلیم چیز کنن دولت از دولت تقاضا داریم که برای ما یک جای تعلیم ما رو به خوبی
تبریک باشد. Even at that young age, they hope for good for their people, good for the country. Nowruz Mubarak. Happy New Year's.
با درود و شاد باش به مناسبت فرارسیدن جشن باستانی ملی و بین‌المللی نوروز.
In a country where much has been lost, Afghans hold on to their traditions. They never fail to honor old friends. That means a warm welcome from Basir Babai on Afghan national TV. So much for keeping a low profile.
The last time I was here, it was a snowstorm in Mazar-e Sharif. So it's lovely to come when the sun is shining, and we all hope it's the start of a shining year for Afghanistan. Nowruz Mubarak, Nowruz Mubarak. Rishad Tashakkur.
Afghans across the country are watching this. This is the moment. The raising of the Janda, the Islamic banner, heralds the start of a new year. But it's much more than that. Legend has it, if this banner is raised in one smooth pull, it will be a good year. No wonder they put it in the hands of the strongest men.
You could just feel the excitement here and the anticipation and relief when the Janda went up in one smooth motion. Look at the people. They're actually climbing over the fence. Look at them. They want to go and touch the flag. That's how much it matters to them.
In a country where good news is rare, Afghans can be forgiven for holding on to that.
We hope that the Jandas is an omen for the new year. And look at the crowd. It's full of doves and the papers cascading, wishing everyone a happy new year. What an extraordinary day.
There's such an open feeling in Mazar-e-Sharif. It's the wide avenues with the open shops. You see more women on the streets here. The sense that it's safe to stroll on a warm spring day.
Mazar-e-Sharif is a good city that has good security.
It's a good city for young people like you?
For everyone.
Really?
Yeah. No fighting, no explosions.
Is your padera shema?
So my father, he says that if you need carpet, and a low price I will give for you everything that you want.
Yeah. Low price. If he's a good carpet seller, he will give me a high price.
I've always loved carpet shopping, even if I'm just looking. You never know what will turn up.
9/11 one. Twin Towers. Who buys this one? Harija from the tourists. Afghans tell many of their stories in the carpets that they weave. These are the carpets, sadly, that were woven during the decade-long Soviet occupation of their country. Millions of Afghans were forced out of the country, and suddenly, instead of flowers and birds and faces and lovely intricate designs being woven into the carpets, you had the Kalashnikov rifles, the tanks, the grenades. You know, a country, look, covered with military vehicles, and suddenly this became the story of Afghanistan, woven right into their carpets.
It's a story still glorified by those whose own history is woven through it, like General Atta Mohammed Noor. In the 80s, he was one of the mujahideen who waged jihad until the Soviet army was forced to retreat. He's still fighting to keep fit. At 6 a.m., this is how Governor Atta starts the day.
صباح خير والی صاحب. صباح خیر. چطور هستی؟ هستی؟ جان جور؟ هستی؟ هر روز اینجا میایید؟
هر روز بله. من نماز صبح که میخونم، ولو هر قدر که مصروف هم بوده باشم سپور خدا میکنم.
آها.
میتونی که ما مسابقه بدیم؟
Okay.
Maybe not the best decision. Governor Atta is not a man who likes to lose.
من بسیار تیزم رفتم میکنم.
You have more practice.
خانم لی داره و برم باز ببینیم که چقدر باز سرعت دارم. حالا فهمیه که من ورزشکار هستم.
خب فعلا سپورت جهاد است.
جدا نوعی از جهاد صحیح برای خود شخص.
چند سالگه؟
اینجا باش ممکن 22 ساله باشه.
22. 22. 22 years old fighting. How many years were you in the jihad like that, in those conditions?
10 سال که 3-4 سال می 14 سال که بودم میکردم.
خب زندگی سخت است.
وقتی که زندگی بسیار سخت بود.
How life has changed.
اینجا بنگول است.
کل دیزاینرش خودم هستم. هیچ کسی باورش نمیه. بله.
ها.
Most Afghans would find a lot of this unbelievable.
چرا ما دمی کو بسیار زندگی کردیم در دوران جهاد و مقاومت کو خوشم میاد. به خاطر نمونه ای از کور اینجا دیزاین کردیم.
Posters everywhere.
دوست دارن که یکی از فعالیت‌ها برای تصویرش بذارن، روز ما مامانیت